Airbnb. In 2021, the average U.S. Airbnb host made $13,800 before expenses. But given that housing prices are so high, and only 65.8% of Americans own a home, just how does the average person get started with Airbnb? In part 2 of this video series, we go behind the scenes with an Airbnb entrepreneur in Georgia, the number 5 most profitable state to host, according to Airbnb.
Looking with the property, we did have to install these cabinet fixtures, of course. Surprisingly enough, when you install blinds on anything, it makes everything look new. So that's something that we learned. It just gives it a cleaner look. Stove right here, refrigerator is going to be right here. We had to purchase all of these. Stove, refrigerator, new dishwasher, all black to go along with the black fixtures. So now once you transition in here, then this is supposed to be our laundry room area. We toyed around with what we wanted to do with this area for a while. We weren't sure if we wanted to make it a gaming space or we wanted to make it like a space where you put like a wine bar or something, but then we figured the refrigerator is right here, so what's the point? So we're actually gonna have our laundry area set up here. Washing machine's gonna go here, dryer's gonna go here. So if you have somebody that has an extended stay, which is pretty typical with houses that are like this with so little amount of people, then they'll be able to wash clothes as freely as they would like to do that. Master bedroom area or biggest bedroom has its own bathroom right here. And so bathroom's pretty cozy at what it is. And then when you come in here, it's going to be 2 beds, television goes right there on the wall. Again, everything is streaming. Typically when you do any type of short-term rental, we found that it's a better option to have streaming apps available because 90% of everybody streams applications. Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max. Usually somebody has one of those 5. And so as long as you have a smart TV with pretty good internet that's able to hold all of those things, then you make your guests happy. We haven't run into any guests that said, why don't you have cable? So I think we're in pretty good shape. But yeah, that just helps to save you a little bit of money on the back end. And so, of course, you have your 2 full beds here, enough space and room for somebody to be able to sleep in here. Well, now we have one of my wife's favorite areas, which is the back porch. Back porch area, we're gonna have a couple tables, several chairs out here, and we're gonna have an ambiance set to where you just sit here and you're able to enjoy the quietness of the neighborhood, as well as just it being tranquil and serene. We have roosters in the back, so they're constantly doing that. And so once we get the backyard area fixed up and we get everything fenced in, it's gonna be really, really ideal for people that are looking to bring either their families or people that are interested in just like having a getaway trip to be able to be in the city and close enough to the city to where they can be in the action without being directly in the action. So anybody that's interested in short-term rentals, everybody talks about the BRRRR method. And so that's all you hear, which is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. And so the BRRRR method does work, but what a lot of people don't tell you are the ins and outs of getting between the B and the R and the R and the R and the R. And so, you know, it's a lot of learning on the fly. The buying part, specifically in our market, wasn't the easiest thing to do, but you know, my wife is very, very resilient, so she found a property. Once she found a property and we were able to negotiate a price that was good for us, then that was fine. Then we got to the rehab part. Rehab part is difficult when you're getting in because you don't know anybody. So the thing I would suggest to people is make sure that you either connect with somebody that's done this before, or make sure that you do your due diligence on everyone that you decide to want to employ. Because in the beginning, we didn't have the best contractors, but now we've developed a really, really great core 4. Your core 4 is your real estate agent, your person that's like gonna be your property manager, even though we self-manage, your general contractor, and then your loan officer. And so we haven't gotten to the loan officer part yet because we're discussing our options because we're close to the refinancing phase. But as it sits in this moment, the contracting thing was the hardest, most difficult portion for us because we interviewed so many people. Then once we interviewed people and hired them for the job, at that moment you learn people's true character. And so a lot of times people don't finish what they say they're gonna finish. And the one thing that we did the one thing that we did that was successful was we didn't pay anybody up front. Yeah, we didn't hire anybody without making sure we saw what they did first. We didn't give anybody any money up front and have them promise that they did us specific things. I would advise against that because a lot of people are in the business to try to make money and then they'll leave with your money. So we ended up getting our contractor from our electrician who does really, really good work for us. And when he did good work, he suggested someone else that did good work. So they ended up doing the deck for us. Once they did the deck for us, that ended up branching off into a relationship that dealt with contracting. If you're in the Georgia area, Charles Morton Electric is who we use. So by all means, feel free to use them. As well as Premier Remodeling. They're the group that worked with us as well on remodeling everything in the house. And then we had to get a new HVAC unit. So that was Harrison HVAC company that helped us out with that. And all of those individuals worked together. So it was really easy once we got one person working because they communicate with each other. And if you have a group that can communicate with each other, then it takes a lot of the hard work out on you, especially if you're trying to act as your own general contractor. We also used a guy with plumbing. It's called No Pressure Plumbing. He was one of the first people we used. He's outside of that group, but he does really good work as well. Very timely, very quick. So just make sure if you're ever hiring anybody to do your work, just make sure they give you an estimate up front, make sure the scope of the work is what you want, and make sure they're very timely. So this house was built in the 1940s. And so because this is a 1940s house, a lot of the plumbing was cast iron, so that had to be replaced, which is very, very expensive. And then a lot of the electrical still worked, but some things had to be replaced to be brought up to code. So that wasn't as big. This house did not have an HVAC unit in the beginning, so we had to have one installed. We had to create a second bathroom here just because that was optimal for Airbnb or people that are doing short-term rentals. You don't want everybody using the same bathroom, especially if you have couples, because everybody wants their own type of privacy. So not only did creating a second bathroom help out with that aspect, but it's also gonna help out with our after repair value. Right now, the homes in this area that are 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom are going for around $250,000, if not more. And we purchased this house for considerably less than that. So once we refinance at 75%, we're gonna get all our money back plus to be able to work on another property. We put all of this money upfront cash in advance based on a line of credit that we utilize. And so once we utilize the line of credit to be able to do that, then we have to refinance in order to pay our line of credit back so then we can move on to another property. The reason why you do the BRRRR method, like I said earlier, is so you have the ability to free up your cash so it's not tied into your property, and then you take that money and then invest it again and repeat over and over and over and over again until you built up a nice portfolio. So we use the home equity line of credit on our first property. So property that we told you about, our former house, at the current moment when we did this, it was worth roughly about $190,000. And so we ended up getting a line of credit on 80% of that, which gave us about $150,000 at an interest rate that was prime plus 0. The prime rate at the moment was 3.0 or 3.05. Now I think it's 3.15 maybe. But yeah, we got a home equity line of credit on our first property, which enabled us to purchase this property, and hopefully a lot more properties to come. If you have that option, I would say that's a great option. My wife won't let us get a line of credit on our primary home because she don't want the primary home to be taken. Right now, there's no loan on this property, only a home equity line of credit on the first property. But once we refinance, it'll be a loan on this property.